Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM and ArrowFM. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey!
We're going to start off, as always, every single week, the last 5 years, Raw. We're getting Finn Balor, Baron Corbin again at SummerSlam.
It's been a fun feud, so it should still be an interesting match. I'm going to say that they'll finally give Finn his moment, and he'll go over Corbin.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like it could still go either way, per se. I don't know. I feel like I said the same thing the last time they were facing off. I don't know who going forward is going to have the biggest storyline. I feel like this match will be telling. If Corbin walks away with the win, then I see big things in his future. If Finn Balor walks away with the win, I see bigger things in his future. So it's a bit of a wait-and-see game for me. We also got the conclusion of a bit of a backstage brawl last week. Bobby Roode, Mojo Rawley pretty much should just form a tag team of Raw Creative forgot about us until this week.
Oh, this will be fun.
It is kind of disappointing that both of them did get forgotten until now. Both of them great talents, but at least we're getting something now. Better now than 10 years down the line.
Yeah, well, Bobby Lashley definitely doesn't have 10 years down the line. But yeah, it is sad to see them have to do, especially Mojo, because Bobby Lashley at least had his storyline with Roman recently.
I'm gonna interject quickly and say Roode, not Lashley.
Oh.
Point still stands.
Yeah.
But I feel like Roode has also done nothing.
Take what I just said. Yeah.
Everything you were just saying about Mojo, roll it up, it's for him and Roode. This is WWE's fault for hiring two Bobbies. This needs to be sorted out immediately. They should have a loser loses first name. I feel like Lashley sounds cooler than Roode. So I could say that Lashley could lose it. But yeah, Roode and Rawley both underutilized as hell. I don't know if this is going to be a one-off or we're going to continue the storyline a little bit. But it's the first thing they've both had in months. Both of them looked like they had a whole lot of promise. I would say probably Roode had a little bit more promise than Rawley coming over to Raw. And then just floundered and flopped around like a fish out of water.
Roode's biggest problem is that they've miscast him. He totally should be a heel.
Yeah. Roode is the kind of guy who you love to hate. And we're not being given that opportunity to hate him.
Yep.
And then Mojo's been so on and off in his WWE run. I wouldn't bet on him ever getting anything, just because I don't like losing my money. The other Bobby that we were talking about previously, Lashley, he's still dealing with Elias. And as far as I know, they don't have a match at SummerSlam booked just yet.
It's been a fun feud, though.
I think it's really coming off of Reigns. It's definitely something different for Lashley. And anything for Elias is good because Elias will turn anything into gold. So I've thoroughly enjoyed the feud between these two, especially what Elias has brought to the table. And I expect them to still have a SummerSlam match, whether it's announced yet or not.
Yeah, because SummerSlam's going to be at least 5 hours. So,
yeah,
there'll be plenty of room for them.
Hopefully it's that long, because I booked the later bus to come back to Auckland. Authors of Pain, Titus Worldwide. We got the second in a series of matches this week. This time, Authors of Pain walking away with the victory. Again, feels like another match that just hasn't been announced yet.
It's been nice knowing you, Titus Worldwide.
Yep.
You've got about 2 weeks to live.
Pretty much, yeah. We'll see what happens to them. As I said, I expect that match to be added to the card, and if it is, good luck.
Yep.
We'll see, because the tag team division is also getting a bit of a bump at the moment, with the B team taking on the Revival, And we're not quite finished with the Deleters of World just yet.
Nope. And it was for the best that the Deleter of Worlds got involved in that match on Raw, because you can't have the B team's undefeated streak end yet. And you couldn't have them go over the Revival because they're trying to rebuild them, which is their own stupid fault for having to rebuild them in the first place.
Yeah.
So it was made perfect sense for the Deleter of Worlds to get involved, and we'll probably get a triple threat tag team match.
I believe that was announced for next week on Raw. I'd have to go digging to find it. But I wouldn't bet that it ends cleanly in any way possible.
We'll definitely get a title match at SummerSlam. We may even get a stipulation for that one, because we've got a lot of multi-person matches that are potentials right now. So, but the only real thing that has me worried about a stipulation would be Matt Hardy's health.
There's been a lot of things he's been tweeting recently that almost seemed like he was at the end of his rope. Didn't have much longer in him. So I don't know. I'd be all for a stipulation, as you said, but you can also just say, Matt go easy, but I feel like Matt go easy is a lot easier said than done.
He's a Hardy boy. They don't know the phrase go easy.
Yeah.
If there was a stipulation on the match, I would expect it to probably be a ladder match.
Okay. Be interesting, because obviously Matt Hardy's got the little extremist in him, but other than that, they're not necessarily any 6 guys who you'd expect to be doing flips or ladder stunts or anything like that, so it could be a bit more rough and tumble of a ladder match than you would previously expect from, say, the Cruiserweights or a Money in the Bank ladder match.
Although Bo did have a pretty good one with Neville in NXT.
It's kind of hard to remember the fact that Bo Dallas from the B team and all of his other exploits on the main roster actually had a really damn good run in NXT. And some damn good matches and damn good feuds with a lot of people down there. Jinder Mahal, he kind of got in the way of Braun Strowman, and it feels like that's always going to be a bad idea.
Yeah, cross Braun, and you end up on a stretcher, usually.
Yeah, it's not good odds that you walk out of the arena on your own power. I feel like I just wouldn't
then
tempt
you
fate.
may not steal. Just ask Roman.
Yeah. It's rough. Obviously, Jinder just sort of being a bit of a stopgap, continuing to build Braun Kevin going forward. I don't see it being anything more than a 1 or 2 off. Yeah, just a bit of a keep going. Braun will probably absolutely murder somebody else next week, and boom, then we have SummerSlam. Now we got 3 of the bigger stories we got at the end of the card. We'll leave Paul for last. Ruby Riott, she's back.
Pass.
A solid pass. It's not often you pass on something.
Yeah, I just simply don't care at this moment about Ruby.
Okay.
It's not her fault. It's just, I don't have a reason to care.
Fair enough. We're still... It seems as though the Riot Squad is just getting involved into this Banks-Bailey thing, whatever the hell this is meant to be. Whether it is meant to be a tag team, whether this is meant to be a tag team division, whether this is a continuation of the feud, whether they're going to break up, whether Bailey's going to go bad. I still have zero clue where this is heading, and usually I say that's a good thing. I'm starting to get to the point where it's so clueless and all over the place that you just don't care. You just want it to end.
Well, we've been dealing with this on and again and off again feud for almost a year now. So, yeah, I don't blame you at all.
And the Riot Squad at the moment, like prior to the Riot Squad coming over, it was Absolution in arguably the exact same position. So they've just sort of been swapped out for it, inserted in, and copy-paste the last 6 months all over again. Also in the women's division, if there was any doubt in anyone's mind, Ronda Rousey defeated Alicia Fox. I know, huge surprise. The betting odds, they were completely swayed the other way.
How long did the match last?
I don't have that fact or figure, but I'm gonna say not very long.
I didn't see it either, but I'm pretty sure it lasted longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah, it looks like there's a bit of an interference outside spot with Alexa Bliss, so that sort of, I'd almost say delayed it. There's the video on WWE.com. It goes for 2 minutes 20 before the finish of the match, but I don't know how much was before it. So she lasted at least 2 minutes 30, which I think is longer than both of us gave her.
Well, I said about 3 minutes.
Okay. I just got to find out how much that earlier piece is. I'm going to give you the 3 minutes. I'll give it to you. You hit the nail on the head. Doesn't mean that she walked out with her arm.
Yep. It was nice knowing you, Alicia. Thanks for building up the new star.
To be fair, she hasn't been back for all too long. So, yeah. Good luck, Alexa, because you're going to need it.
And no, she won't. We all know how that match is going to end.
Yeah, no amount of luck can help her.
No. She's going to win and retain her title, but it won't be by any means of her own.
Okay.
One of two things will happen. Either Natalya turns on Ronda, or Stephanie gets involved.
Okay.
But Ronda's not winning the title.
I don't know whether I should celebrate that or mope about that. I'll be indifferent.
Because it means we get another pay-per-view with Alexa Bliss as in the championship match.
Yeah, that's what makes me iffy about celebrating it. We'll see going forward. You're usually pretty accurate. I may doubt you on this one. Lastly, on Raw, Paul Heyman cuts the promo of the year in an interview.
I don't think so.
No? You're not liking it?
No, I wasn't into it.
Okay.
I'm tired of Paul. I'm tired of hearing him. I'd like to see him just go away for a while. Maybe go work with the talent in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear him. I'm done.
Okay. Do you think that's driven partially by the fact that the internet loves him and constantly talks about him about the best thing since sliced bread?
No. Just
his appearances?
Yeah, it's just because it's been the same thing over and over and over again for the last 5 years with him.
Mm-hmm.
I guess some of it might be that the internet does worship the ground he walks on. And that I feel he's not as good as people think he is. Because other than Brock, and who has he really benefited by being their manager?
Yeah. I think we had that discussion last week.
CM Punk, because Punk was already over. Punk didn't need him. So,
yeah, if I recall, we were unable to nail down anybody that he'd helped.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly didn't help Heinrich or Cesaro or Ryback. So, yeah.
Let him ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, let him be off television for a couple of years and work with the talent down in NXT to work with their mic skills so they can bring out their characters so that makes everything better up on the main roster when they come up.
Yeah.
And then maybe come back in a couple of years and work with somebody other than Lesnar and prove that he can actually get somebody over.
I do worry, looking at what sort of the direction we're going, whether that will be what happens or whether he's going to be heavily involved at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I expect him to be involved.
It's really one way or the other. He's either this is his breaking off from Lesnar and having a break, or this is just him heading into SummerSlam, working some magical double cross where he is still on Lesnar's team, flipping over to Roman's side, coming out with Braun to cash in. There's so many options that I feel like one of them is going to be taken. It's just one of those cases.
The one I want won't be.
What's the one you wanted?
The one I want won't be.
Which is?
Him going away for a while.
Oh, yeah. I feel like if you look at the options, it is arguably the least likely. Actually, no, maybe the Reigns one's least likely, because that involves, But yeah, I don't see it. As much as it would be refreshing, I just don't see it. I have no faith that it will happen. All right, well, we're roughly halfway through the show, and as with every week, that means it's time to play a theme. And I've had Dean Malenko's scary eyes staring at me from this YouTube video for the past 15 minutes, so I feel like I should play this theme and get them off my screen. It was Dean Malenko's birthday this week, I believe?
Yeah.
So that is why we will play his theme for you now. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, Grady and Josh. We're on the SmackDown side of things now. Where do we start? Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. They're also a tag team now. Everybody's a tag team now. I'm gonna just cross my fingers this was a one-off thing. I'm going to bet that after SummerSlam, one of these two women is the SmackDown Women's Champion, so it'd be a little bit harder for them to continue to be friends. I still think it's going to go the way of these two feuding for the belt afterwards, and that they're not going to be friends, and they're going to hate each other. So that's where I'm going to continue to cross my fingers. Does mean we got an appearance at the Iconic, so I'm happy with that. Any week that happens is a good week.
And watch Carmella retain, and that be the instrument that causes one of the other two to turn heel.
Don't make me sad. So many possibilities you've already listed about SummerSlam make me sad. Can you just let me be happy about one thing? Just one happy thought. I'm gonna just have to start singing and go to my happy place, and nobody wants to hear me sing. Randy Orton, he's still targeting Jeff, but I believe officially the match is Shinsuke Nakamura, Jeff Hardy. Will it become a triple threat, do you think? Or do you think Randy's just going to sort of interject himself?
At this point, I don't really know. As we said earlier, there's so many multi-person matches that can be formed for some reason.
It's a little rough. But at the moment, I think, even with Orton in there, I think Shinsuke retains. I feel like Jeff is on his way out of this feud. I'm not going to say everything. I'm just going to say on his way out of this feud. So it's possible he even completely leaves Orton alone in the feud moving forward as Shinsuke Orton. I don't entirely know. But I don't think there'll be a title change for the US title at SummerSlam.
Yeah, neither Orton or Hardy needs the title right now.
No.
So I would definitely say that Shinsuke needs it the most.
Zelina Vega Lana, we're continuing this along. I continue to think that this will be some form of mixed tag match. I don't know what happens going forward. Again, Aiden English got himself in the way, causing the loss. So I feel like it's going to be Aiden. I know last week, it's essentially parroting what we said last week, of hoping Rusev goes away and does his own thing. Aiden Lana can do a little bit, whatever. But ultimately, I think this is going to be a tool to get Cien Almas over. So please don't waste Rusev on that. Let's quickly talk about Daniel Bryan, The Miz. We didn't get too much more. We're just further advancing the story. It's official now, I guess. That's a good advancement. But other than that, we're just advancing along, still hoping for good things at SummerSlam. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, we're just getting the ball rolling. This is going to be the major feud for SmackDown over the next few months. Along with Joe and AJ. Yeah.
Because Joe and AJ, again, the same thing we can say about them is we're just continuing along. We're going along at our pace. The SummerSlam match is set. We just got to get there. And then we can start looking past SummerSlam once we get past SummerSlam. And I agree. I see Styles, Joe, Bryan, Miz as arguably the top four going forward for SmackDown. and sticking in their own feuds much past, a one-off match at SummerSlam. I would be surprised if either of these matches are one and done. But we now know who will face the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Team titles at SummerSlam, and we can all be disappointed together.
It is what it is.
Well, it is what we didn't expect it to be. We were on the side of the bar going forward, re-emerging, picking up a win over the Usos, fresh matchup for the Bludgeons, but nope, we get the New Day. It was at least a really good match between the New Day and the Bar. Both of the teams can go and can put on really good matches. I don't mistake what I'm saying as I expect the New Day Bludgeon Brothers match to be bad. I just would have preferred the Bar go up against them instead. So I don't truly know where we go with the Bar for now. Obviously, they just re-emerged in terms of, are they going to stick around? Are they going to go their own ways? Is something that we're going to have to figure out in the future down the line. We've also got Sanity floating around in that division, the Usos, and I'm sure there's other tag teams that I'm not remembering off the top of my head on SmackDown that can come out and put on an impact and do well. I still don't think the New Day is going to take these titles off the Bludgeon Brothers. I would be surprised if that happened, and not surprised in a good way.
Something we feel like we could say about just about every match is there's an outcome that we would be surprised, but not in a good way.
Yeah. I'm looking at them all, and yeah, pretty much. All the ones that have meaning to them. There's a lot of bad outcomes, but there's a lot of likely bad outcomes. SummerSlam, it's going to be big, but it's going to come down to, are you going to remember all the outcomes because they were bad, or are you going to remember all the outcomes because they were good?
I would rather remember moments.
What is this, WrestleMania? God, nobody's running out there talking about getting their SummerSlam moment.
It's the WrestleMania of the summer.
That's not the official tagline, is it? I don't see an official tagline.
That way.
Yeah. Yeah, in some ways, like all of these matchups, I'll rephrase, most of these matchups that we have at SummerSlam are WrestleMania caliber matchups. It's not like they're going soft or anything like that. It's the best they got, going out there and putting on matches. WrestleMania is, though, generally booked more around moments. I don't remember SummerSlam being that way, but that's just maybe my bad memory. At the moment, we do have a whole lot of heel champions, so in terms of title changes, I don't know how likely it is to have a mass exodus to the other side and to the other way, but we will have to wait and see. I feel like a lot of SummerSlam is still up in the air. I can nail down, and next week we'll have to, when we do our preview show, I can nail down what I think will happen, but as we've discussed, there's just so many outcomes for so many of these matches that I wouldn't be 100% sure on any of them. Also, R-Truth is still here. Had a bit of a match with Shinsuke. I feel like we got to mention him.
Yeah, he found his way to the ring. He knows what shows he's on.
Well, it was a 50-50 shot, right? Unless he thought he was on 205 Live. I'm not good at weights. Is he light enough for 205? Build weight 220.
I thought he was on NXT.
I feel like that's always a missed opportunity, and that there's not enough people going back to NXT for matches, whether it's feuds for matches or something. It's always a one-way street, and that leads us just one or two. I feel like R-Truth could go down and have...
What makes Cesaro Zayn so special.
And R-Truth is a guy who I'm looking at. He's not doing a whole lot on the main roster at the moment. He could spare a couple months, go down, have a long feud with someone, bang out a match at a takeover, and come on back. Dude's at a point in his... I'm getting there. Dude's at a point in his career where he could go down, put on a damn good classic with an NXT superstar, such as the Velveteen Dream, and actually let Dream pick up a win and takeover, and it not hurt him at all. And he can still easily just transition back whenever they need him on the main roster. I'm going to file that under things that should happen but won't. All right, something that is going to happen, though, is us running out of time. It's been great talking to you.
Bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio, and we'll see you next week with the SummerSlam preview.